Good morning, Chattanooga. This is Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody on Talk Radio 102.3 with your hosts, Cindy Richardson and Jody Gallen with the Richardson Group, KW Cleveland, the home of the Offers Instantly program. Get a guaranteed offer on your home within 24 hours. Log on to rg423.com for more details. The Richardson Group, KW Cleveland, with over 20 years of experience serving Southeast Tennessee. Each and every Keller Williams office is independently owned and operated, and the opinions and views expressed on this show are strictly ours. If there's something you don't agree with, well, maybe you should. Hey, if you guys have questions about buying, selling, or investing this morning, you can call our Texas studio, 267-1023. We're also taking questions this morning through the live video on Facebook at the Richardson Group KW Cleveland Facebook page. But if you have a real estate question you would like to discuss off the air, call our office, 790-7979, or visit our website, rg423.com. Our experienced team of realtors are ready to help with any of your real estate needs. As always, we look forward to answering your questions this morning on Real Estate Today. Call us at the studio, 267-1023. Good morning, Cindy. Good morning, Jody.
Good morning, Jay.
Hey, how are you?
I am so glad you've had your caffeine and got all that out.
I died a little bit. I think I'm going to start responding that way, period. Well, maybe you should. You don't agree with me?
Maybe you should.
Make your life a whole lot easier. So
Let's save some
is
time.
your exactly?
Maybe you should.
Maybe you should. So how's your weekend starting so far?
Good. How about y'all?
Well, we've all got a wedding to go to this afternoon.
Yes. Shout out to Alexis and Jordan,
yes,
one of our own, getting married today.
Yep, she feels like our baby, so we're looking forward to that. I think I'm getting an early start on Monday. Last night went to work out, watched a movie, came home and realized I had left my garage door open, and then got up this morning and realized I left it open last night too. So if anybody needs any freebies, just come see me. The garage door is wide open. So
too bad there's nothing in the garage.
Exactly. Nothing for you to take.
I'm pretty sure there's an app for that.
Hey, you do what you got to do. But
it is 2022. We have smart everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. They do make a smart garage door. They absolutely do.
Oh yeah.
Well, I obviously
Anybody
do not
needs to
have
know
it.
what Jody needs for Christmas, birthday. She needs a smart garage door.
Yeah,
Ring
or a few extra brain cells, maybe. If forgetting my garage opener was the worst thing I had done, we'd be good. But I'm just getting an early start on Monday.
Well, that's okay. It's all right to have a week full of Mondays. Apparently, this week has been nothing but Mondays. So
yeah, this week's been a little bit, I don't know, heavy, busy. Can't complain. But we'll touch briefly. We won't stay in it too long. But we've gotten a lot of calls this week about world events and things that are going on and how that affects the real estate market in particular. And it's funny how things just work out. But we had already planned on talking about this being such a great year to sell, such a great time to sell. And I truly still believe that's the case. So, what are you guys hearing as far as, interest rates and things that are happening and what's going on in the world, how that's affecting us?
I think that we've talked about it a lot, that we fully expect interest rates to go up next month. I wholeheartedly believe they're going to go up next month, or at least feds are going to raise interest rates, which doesn't necessarily mean it raises mortgage rates.
Correct.
Yeah, mortgage rates tend to be, I hate to use the word volatile, but they tend to be more subjective to change outside of the Fed rate. When the Fed talks about raising rates, that's where they're actually talking about what one bank charges another bank to borrow money. It's called the overnight rate. Mortgage rates are a little more subject to change, and even they have trended up in the last month or so, but they're still historically low. You're not seeing 6, 7, 8% where we were 10, 12 years ago.
And it's important to keep in mind that as much as we don't want to hear it, a 6% interest rate is still a very healthy.
Well, and we're nowhere near that.
Yeah.
I mean, as of today, the 30-year fixed is at what, Jody? I know you checked that the other day. I think it was 4 1/4.
I was going to say 4 1/4, but let me double check
30-year fixed rate, and then FHA as of yesterday.
A 30-year conventional is 4 1/4, and an FHA is 3 3/4, which is still, guys.
Wow, 3 3/4.
Yeah,
unreal.
Still an unreal interest rate. So, all of that to say, historically, we were talking about this before. Anytime that there's a large world event, we do tend to see with the stock market, the feds, those sort of things. Almost during the anticipation phase of that happening is more affected. Once that event happens, no matter what that is, we tend to see things back up and stabilize a little bit. And one of the things that we really have going for us in this area is we're very our industry, thank goodness, is very insular. So, you know, all that to say, everybody's watching what's going on in the world right now, but let's not knee jerk into that. I've had several people that are on the fence selling, and even some people say that other agents have said to them, the market's about to crash. You need to, you know, the sky's not falling. We're not Stuart Little.
This
So,
actually, in this uncertain time,
Chicken
too,
Little,
when people
Stuart
are,
Little, you know, I am money with the references, I'm telling you.
right now, while the people are a little unsettled, it might be a good time for buyers too, because they may not have as many people bidding against them on homes.
Yeah, when people take a breath, that's when you need to act. Just like we talked about during the recession, we should have bought more than we did.
Hindsight, we're all smart.
Yeah, and if you're in a position to buy right now, don't let what's going on cause you to knee jerk in the opposite direction.
Right,
because
right.
interest rates are not going
You do have
down.
to consider it, but you don't make a knee jerk just decision, because you know, for all of us, our crystal ball's not working, so we're not exactly sure where this is headed yet. But so far, we're not being affected.
So would you say this is still the best year that we've seen to sell your home?
Oh yes, this is absolutely the best time that we have seen. I have been in real estate for 23 years now, and this is by far the best time to sell a home.
And it's kind of the perfect storm for a seller. Very low inventory, good loan programs, good programs for buyers, lots of buyers looking. So you as a seller, there has never been a better time as far as prices, days on the market, and because of that lack of inventory, you can get away with doing less and getting more money.
Right.
For sure.
Well, and that's probably the question I get asked more than anything is, well, if I sell, where am I going to go? And there are a lot of different options for that. I know I personally am getting ready to sell, and with the intentions of building. And yes, I know building materials are up right now. I think you just have to be smart in your decisions of your upgrades and things to decide how to balance that. But I will most likely go buy a smaller home that I later can either resell or turn into a rental.
And it's important to think those scenarios through beforehand. Again, best time that we have seen in our careers as a seller, for sure. So you don't want to wait. You don't want to wait until there's 20 people in your neighborhood. We have a past client that is working with one of our agents, wants to be in a very specific neighborhood, and we are literally calling everybody in that neighborhood and saying, what do you want for your house? Because the market is so good. You need to have a contingency plan in place, and we'll talk through some options and the most likely scenarios and some ways to get creative. But like Cindi said, they know that once their house actually is available, it will be gone really quickly. So we're already in the contingency phase of trying to find something small that is not a forever.
Right.
And that's
and
important
I
to
know
note.
that I'm going to pay more for a smaller home now than what I would have a few years ago. But then you have to weigh it out. I have some very good friends that I was talking to this week that went into a rental while they were building, and it took them about a year to build. So, and they have a pretty large family, so they were in a rental home of about $2,000 a month. And when you look at that at 12 months, then that's $24,000. So even if you slightly overpay, at $24,000 that you would have just thrown away in rent, that's money that you can put into a smaller home that then can be resold. So, because at this point, I mean, homes are still appreciating.
And it's important to understand that what works for you and your family doesn't necessarily, I'm in a rental. Because at my stage of life right now, that's what makes the most sense for me.
Right.
And I have discussed building and the timeline that would be, and then that's something that I could turn around and rent later. But when I sold my primary home, had to have somewhere to go. I've joked about it on the show before. I didn't win the bid, so needed to get a solution pretty quickly. And just depending on where you are in your stage of life and what your availability is as far as repairs and upkeep and all those sort of things, sometimes renting is the best option. And there are some options where, and we'll spend some more time after our commercial break talking about what those look like. But a rental doesn't have to be a 1-year lease in an apartment. That's not
No.
always
There
what that
are
means.
apartment complexes, some of the bigger ones, even the nicer ones, that will do as low as a 3-month lease agreement. So they charge you a little bit more, but you can do 3, 6, 12, whatever your comfort level is, to give you time
And
to look.
it's important in a market like this to talk through what the exit options are as well. So, for example, I signed a longer lease because the penalty to get out of that lease made sense.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
monthly, my rent is less because I have a longer lease.
But then
if
you
I
may have to pay a month's.
if I decide to get
rent.
out, what does that look
Right.
like? What does that, and for me, I have a pet who's like my third child that had to come along. So those are all things that don't seem really significant, but when you go to pull the trigger, you need to know. Now, what are you guys seeing average escrow time? Now, escrow means from the time I'm saying escrow, I'm meaning from the time you go under contract till the time you close.
30 to 45 days is pretty standard, but we are seeing some delayed too. I think we have negotiated more suitable housing clauses, giving a 60 to 90 day time frame to close.
And let's talk about, again, I don't want to get too far off before we have to take a break, but we'll talk more about what that suitable housing clause looks like and occupancy agreements and that sort. But
we still have a few minutes, so we can get into that. But a suitable housing clause is where the seller is going to put a clause in the contract saying that it's going to give them 30, 60, 90 days to find suitable housing. Now, all timelines are going to start, so your inspection period and everything are going to start once the seller finds suitable housing, but it does allow them to go ahead and have that time to find something and know that their home is under contract.
And remember when we talked about winning the bid, sometimes winning the bid, like we talked about, is not necessarily offering the most money.
Yeah, it's not always about the bottom dollar.
It's letting Mr. and
There's
Mrs.
a whole lot of other things that go into
have some
it.
security that they're going to be able to find something.
Correct. So a suitable housing clause is one very good option for sellers. Another one would be a lease back, and that's where you close and you're going to lease the home back from the buyer for a set period of time. Now, you have to be careful not to get into any violations against their mortgage. Because some mortgages do say that you have to move into the home within 90 days. So you got to know that going in when you're doing the negotiating, because you don't want to go in expecting to spend 6 months only to discover that you have to be out in 3 months.
And that's kind of a touchy situation, because you need to make sure that you have the proper paperwork for insurance purposes and all that sort of thing.
Right. But that's things that we can talk
Exactly. So that's why it's important to hire a realtor so that we can help walk you through that, to make sure you're not violating anything with your mortgage, but also to make sure that you're protecting yourself and them, belongings and that sort.
All right, we're going to step away and take a quick break. This morning, when we come back, we're going to continue talking about things you can do to help get your house sold, get into the house that you need to move into, and we're actually going to cover some of the national numbers that came out from the National Association of Realtors. This is Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody on Talk Radio 102.3.
The home of Big Orange basketball. Talk Radio 102.3 WGOW FM.
The enrolled agents at U.S. Tax Solutions are licensed tax professionals. They're local and utilize over 40 years of experience to resolve tax problems for people right here in Chattanooga. Call U.S. Tax Solutions, 423-870-2440.
Winter is here in the greater Chattanooga area, and with that comes cold, wet weather. These conditions can be disastrous for an old roof. Now is the time to call Langley Roofing. Traditional shingle roof installations along with maintenance and inspections to keep your family protected. Count on Langley Roofing to complete your roofing project right the first time, within budget, with no interest and no payments for 12 months. Visit LangleyRoofs.com. See a good roof? Chances are it's a Langley.
Doctors Nathan and Rebecca Warren from Chattanooga Family Chiropractic have helped hundreds of people take back their health and live their life to their fullest potential. Here's what one of their patients had to say about his experience.
This is Jeff Alger. I just wanted to say thank you so much to Dr. Nathan Warren and Dr. Rebecca, and wanted to thank them so much for the wonderful care that I've received. I was in a severe head-on crash in 2016. Thanks so much to the care of Dr. Warren and his wife. I am able to function well and work out at the gym at least 5 days a week. My pain is minimal, and he has taught me so much over the past years, and I am so grateful for that. I appreciate you guys so much, and God bless.
Whether you had an accident like Jeff or suffer from regular wear and tear, Doctors Nathan and Rebecca Warren can help. Chattanooga Family Chiropractic, located near Hamilton Place next to the Home Depot. Call for your appointment today, 423-362-5360. That's 423-362-5360. And tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. for the healthiest 2 hours on the radio.
Hey, this is Quake for my friend Kay Keefe from the Keefe family at Keefe Plumbing. They want to remind you that cold spells this time of year can cause problems. Keefe Plumbing offers solutions with water heater checks and services anytime. Call Keefe for relief, 622-3178. Kay Keefe is a third-generation plumber, so like her dad and her grandfather before her, for over 70 years, the Keefe family has got you covered when it comes to plumbing issues. 622-3178. If you've ever considered converting your electric water heater to gas, Keefe Plumbing can help you out and do it right. They also offer on-demand water heating system installation. Let's face it, they're the pros pro when it comes to any kind of issues with your plumbing. In other words, Keefe Plumbing has Chattanooga covered. Winterize your property's plumbing before the cold weather hits. Call Keefe Plumbing, 622-3178. That's Keefe for relief, 622-3178. Keefe Plumbing, family owned and operated since 1950. There's no doubt they have Chattanooga's back. Keefe Plumbing, 622-3178. And tell them the Talk Monster sent you.
The market roller coaster is back. Find out what it means for your retirement on Retirement Straight Talk with Morgan Hill, Sunday at 10, right here on the Talk Monster.
Talk Radio 102.3.
Welcome back to Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody on Talk Radio 102.3. Get your real estate questions answered here on the air. Call or text 267-1023. We're also answering questions this morning through the live video on the Richardson Group KW Cleveland Facebook page. You can also reach us at our office, 790-7979, or on our website, rg423.com.
I feel like I need Jesse in my life to
Point at you.
3, 2,
Yeah,
1
here you
me and
go.
point at me so I know what's up. Keep me on track.
Start doing that around the office.
Yes, exactly.
We all need a Jesse in our lives.
Truth.
Jesse needs a Jesse in his life.
Truth.
Okay, so when we left, we were talking about options because more than anything, we're hearing from sellers, what am I going to do if my home sells? Where am I going? So we talked about doing a possible lease back, negotiating occupancy or a suitable housing clause. Some of the other, or rental, a couple of other options would be to buy something that, you know, you're going to flip, so you're going to sell it once you have lived in it for, you know, a period of time.
I think it's important to mention when we talked about winning the bid, you lose some of your not negotiating ability, but I don't even know the right word I'm working for, some leverage with an offer when you have a home to sell.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's stressful to have to go find somewhere.
Well, a seller doesn't, if they're sitting there looking at 3 offers, they're not going to choose the only one that has to sell a home if they've got 2 able and willing buyers that do not need to sell a home.
So even though this is stressful, you're
going
putting yourself in a better situation when it comes time to buy.
Correct.
And being able to do something short term, whether that is live in your family's basement, which I know nobody wants to do that, rent somewhere that the penalty is not horrible for breaking the lease or that will let you do a short term. Another thing that we see a lot of now is Airbnbs and VRBOs, and you can pack all of your things, leave them in a storage unit, stay somewhere monthly that is furnished, that you don't have to worry about. You're going to pay more in rent, but you do have that flexibility of being able to move when you found something. So it's stressful and it's uncomfortable, but hopefully that is a short-term thing because you're going to be able to then have more negotiating power when it comes time to make an offer on something.
And speaking of the putting everything into storage, something that I have really learned over the years is most people don't want to take a whole lot of their furniture to their new house. So if you don't love it and it's not something that you really want to keep, go ahead and get rid of it
Yeah.
when you sell your home. And Facebook Marketplace was probably the best gift in the world to sellers, because you can throw anything on Facebook Marketplace and you're going to
Gone.
find somebody that wants it. So it's amazing to me, some of the things that can be sold on there.
Yeah, so lots of ways that we can help you get creative as far
Mhm.
as interim housing, whatever that looks like for
Mhm.
you.
And talking about getting your home ready to sell, there are several things that you can do up front. So when we go out and we take a look at a home, we're going to give you a price range. We're not going to go in and say this is absolutely what you need to expect for your home. We're going to give you a range, and that's going to be based on how much you prepare to get your home ready. So we offer 3 options, and the first one is a cash offer. And that is one where you can do absolutely nothing. You pick the closing date. You pick
Take
everything.
what you want, leave what you don't.
Correct.
Literally
That
walk
is
out the door.
absolute easiest way to sell it. No showings, no anything, not bringing inspectors through there. And that's going to give you a little bit of extra time too. Now, of course, that's not going to bring full market value. But then when you're looking at the next option is that you don't do a whole lot to prepare. So you may go in and you may fix a few things. You may do a little bit of staging, but you are not going to completely do everything that you would have had to have done 5 years ago to get your home ready.
And I think it's a matter of time over money. I
Correct.
think we're both getting
And
to the
convenience.
age.
Convenience.
We're both getting to the age where at some point my time
Mm-hmm.
is more valuable. The time and energy that it's going to take me to do X, Y, and
Mhm.
Z is more valuable to me than the money return
Right.
I would get
Not
on it.
everybody, well, and that's moving into the next one is you may not want to recarpet your bedrooms. You may not want to repaint your entire interior of your home. And that's when you're going to fall in that middle category, which is you're preparing for the market. You may be doing some light staging. You are getting ready, but you are not getting down and doing absolutely everything. You're not gutting and remodeling your bathroom. You're not pulling out those last few gold fixtures that may be in your home. So
And we're going to guide you through that
Mhm.
process. We, like Cindy said, I give my sellers a range and I say at this price, I feel like you can. And again, the market right now is more
forgiving.
supportive of that than it ever has been. Can we sell your house? Absolutely.
Is it going to bring good money?
Top
Absolutely.
dollar, maybe not. But if we're going to get top dollar, then I need you to do X,
Mhm.
Y, and Z. And if you don't want to do all of
Right.
those, you can do some of those. For
Now-
example, I had a seller just last week that basically said I can either replace all the gold fixtures or I can paint the brown trim and the brown doors. And we went with replace all the gold fixtures and listed somewhere in the middle. And Jack made a good point during the commercial break. That's also very price point driven as well, wouldn't
Correct.
you say?
Yes,
Yeah.
that really is.
And I think where that comes into play is at certain price points, those homes are moving so fast.
There's nothing out there.
Your return on investment of putting that monetary investment into that house at the very end is not going to translate into a massive gain. And now, yes, there are exceptions to every rule, but typically you're not going to find that if you have to turn around and put $5,000 into a home to do a recarpet or do a repaint or something like that, it's not going to return you a $30,000 to $40,000.
No.
And I
net
think
gain.
we could probably all safely say 200,000 and below seems to be, there is still zero inventory. Now, again,
You
like-
have to make sure that your maintenance is
correct.
done.
That's what I was going to say when we talked about it before.
So
You wanna-
200,000 and below, as long as the roof hasn't caved in on the house, it's pretty much going to sell within the first
Yeah,
few
but
days.
Yeah.
again, you want to make sure your maintenance is done.
What
you don't want
you-
any flaking paint.
What you don't want to do is end up with inspection issues or financing issues because of things that we could have told you needed to be done
Mhm.
on the front end. So
Mhm.
peeling paint, rotted wood, unsecured deck boards, things that are
Mhm.
deferred maintenance items. You
Gutters
need to
that are
handle.
not directed away from the foundation. And everyone, get your gutters away from your foundation so that you're not dropping water. Whether you have a basement, crawl space, anything, you don't want water dropping at your foundation. Move
But
that
like
away.
Jack said, replacing a bathroom,
Correct.
gutting a bathroom in a sub $200,000 house right now is probably not the best use of your money.
Mhm.
Number one, because you're not going to see the return, but number two, you're going to eat up those days when there's nothing else for sale.
Available.
And that is part of what, not part, that's 99% of what you have going for
Mhm.
you is the fact that there's nothing else there. So you don't want to, it's like we laugh about people waiting to put their house on the market in the spring. Don't wait till all your neighbors put their house on the market, because then you better be the best of the best. Whereas
Yeah.
when there's nothing available, you can get by with less.
Yeah.
But those deferred maintenance items still need to be handled.
Mm-hmm. And then the last option is that you get your home completely ready, that you are show ready. That's when we're going to come in and we're going to do some staging. We're going to make sure things are updated, and you may have to paint the brown trim and replace the gold
That's
fixtures.
you're doing it all.
But that is your homes that are going to bring above appraised value for your home.
And there are certain things, again, hire a realtor. I know you're tired of hearing me say that, but for goodness sakes, hire a realtor. Let us help you know what is going on in your price
Right,
range.
and that was a conversation I had with somebody yesterday. Is you don't, I don't want them doing anything to come look at it, because what I see and what they see may be two different things. Because I'm looking at it from what is an appraiser going to see? What is a lender going to require?
What's a buyer looking at when they're looking at other
Mhm.
homes in your price range?
Right.
So, let us help guide you when it comes to that. And
Right, we don't want you to spend money on items that are not necessary.
And I mean, if we're talking a $400,000 house and you have Formica countertops and you're worried about frayed carpet, we probably need to replace the countertops before we
Right.
worry about carpet. So let us help you utilize your money the best way. And also kind of, we can bring you pictures of other homes that are on the market or that have just sold, so you know what kind of condition something was in when it sold for the price that you're looking to receive.
Right.
So I know that we had talked about some numbers. Statistically, what's going on out there, guys?
So NAR released their January end of month numbers last Friday, and they just did another release yesterday that I haven't had a chance to look at yet. So what they were looking at are existing home sales. So this kind of takes into account single-family homes, townhomes, condominiums, co-ops, everything like that. The headline was, from December to January, it climbed 6.7%. For an annual adjusted rate of 6.5 million homes sold in January, which is a good number. But when you actually kind of look at it, year over year is where we tend to look at our numbers from. Year over year, we actually were down 16.5%.
And I'll stop you. I think a lot of that has to do with inventory. Sales are down, not because we don't have buyers,
Yeah.
but it's all cyclical, like we talked about.
Yeah, it is
Building
an inventory
materials,
thing,
supplies, availability is
and
still
going
an
into
issue.
that, we actually ended January. Total housing inventory at the end of January was 860,000 units, which was down from December 2.3%, but it was also down January 2021 16.5%. So you're seeing that direct correlation in houses sold January to January based on strictly what the inventory is.
Right.
So you're selling the same amount based on what the available inventory is right now.
Right. And January is always a slower month. So when they say down from December, well, of course, January's down from December.
And historically, December has been a really high month for us, a very busy month.
In our area, but
Yes.
nationwide,
Not so
it's
much.
Not so much. And then medium home prices, Jack. Where are we at on that now? That, to me, that's
This was
mind-blowing.
eye-opening, yeah.
Median home price was actually in January was $350,300. That's up from January 2021 15.4%, where the annual median home price was $303,600. Now there's a big difference between average home price and median home price. Average, you take the price of 10 homes, add them together, divide them by 10, and that tells you your average. Median home price is the middle number. 50% of the homes are above that particular price, 50% are below that particular price.
Right.
So for that to jump that much inside of a year, we actually looked, they break it up by region. They have 4 regions: North, South, Midwest, and West. We were actually the highest appreciation in the South.
I think that is very important. That's what I was sitting here thinking. We hear a lot about this market's going to crash, this market's going to crash. We do not feel like this market's going to crash. And Cindi and I have been saying for a couple years.
I've been through a market crash.
Yes, this is not what it feels like. I do think that our home prices are creeping up to the national average.
Yeah.
So I'm going to wait until prices go down. I think interest rates are going to go up, but prices are not going down. I don't foresee that. I mean, I can't predict the future.
Well,
but
you've got inventory, or inventory is down, which of course that's going to affect it, but you also have your average income is going up, unemployment is down. All of that is going to affect your
and like Jack said,
prices.
we're the highest as far as an increase, but we're still low comparatively to the rest of the country as far as median and average prices are concerned. So important to note.
Oh, it is definitely. We're going to step away and take another quick break. When we come back, we're going to cover a little bit more of the numbers from the NAR this past week. This is Talk Radio Day. This is Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody on Talk Radio 102.3.
WGO. Take us with you on your drive in.
I always turn them on first thing in the morning when I'm making my commute to work.
Talk Radio 102.3, WGOW FM.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Get Upside Gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, up to 25 cents a gallon cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code TIME for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or any gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code TIME for up to 50 cents a gallon cash back on your first tank. That's code TIME.
Don Ledford Automotive, the fastest growing used car dealership in East Tennessee, has over 250 models, pre-owned trucks, late model cars, and all makes and hard to find cars like SUVs, sports cars, and more, offering you the highest trade-in allowances. If they don't have it, let them find it for you. Be part of the Don Ledford family at 4595 North Lee Highway in Cleveland, or check out their inventory online at donledford.com. Don Ledford Automotive, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC. Check out the dealer that always says yes.
Earlier on the program, we were talking about shortages of homes for sale, and I wondered why that is. And so I called the expert, and that is Jay Robinson with the Robinson team of Keller Williams. And Jay, I understand the concept of supply and demand, but why is there a shortage of homes on the market, not just in Chattanooga, but nationwide?
COVID brought everybody back into a focus toward home. Home became much more important in March of 2020 than it had been in November of 2019, because so many more activities were required to happen at home. And then, of course, interest rates. Free money fuels everything. But free money and low interest rates can also be a double-edged sword.
Thanks, Jay. Great to have an expert we can call to get that information. And you too can call Jay. Looking for a home? Put Jay and his team of proven professionals to work for you. Give them a call, area code 423-664-1900. Email address, easy to remember, jay@robinsonteam.com.
Chattanooga's original and longest-running music festival returns this summer. Riverbend 2022 comes back to Ross's Landing, June 3rd through the 5th. 3 days, 3 stages, and nearly 24 acts, including headliners Brothers Osborne, Cage the Elephant, and Jason Isbell and the 400 Unit. Wristband sales are limited to just 15,000, so get yours before they're gone. Go online to WGOW.com for the full lineup. Then click on Sweet Deals to get your Riverbend 2022 wristband. Summer sounds better in downtown Chattanooga when you're at Riverbend. You've waited a long time for this, so be there with your friends. Plus, enjoy great local food, the spectacular artist market, fireworks, and much more. Chattanooga's original music festival returns to Ross's Landing. Don't miss out on Riverbend 2022, June 3rd through the 5th, featuring Brothers Osborne, Cage the Elephant, Jason Isbell and the 400 Unit, along with Government Mule, Grace Potter, Nico Moon, country legend Tanya Tucker, and many more. Get your wristband from the Sweet Deals page online at WGOW.com.
When it comes to all your plumbing needs, I trust Southeast Total Service to get your household back to normal fast. Their revolutionary blue light technology will fix problems from inside the pipes instead of digging up your yard or driveway, saving you a ton of money on repairs. So for all your residential and commercial plumbing needs, I'm talking drains, sewer, clogs, water heaters, and toilets, call 499-2911 or Google Southeast Total Service, everything plumbing.
Talk Radio 102.3.
Welcome back to Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody on Talk Radio 102.3. Get your real estate questions answered on the air. Call or text 267-1023. We're also answering questions through the live video on the Richardson Group Facebook page. You can reach us at our office, 790-7979, or on our website, rg423.com. So as we were stepping away, we covered a little bit of the numbers, kind of covering inventory, home sales, median pricing in, nationwide. One of the other things that jumped up and stood out was individual investors and second home buyers. These are mostly cash sales. They ended up purchasing 22% of the homes in January, which was up 17% from December, but up 15% from January 2021.
And then all cash sales came in at 27% of the transactions in January. But along those same lines, first-time home buyers also made up 27% of the market in January.
Yeah, I think the big difference is that's going to be a mix of cash, but probably going to be financed on that side right
Correct.
there.
First-time home buyers are going to be financed, but I was glad to see that first-time home buyers are getting just as many homes and accounting for as many transactions as cash buyers.
Yeah, that's always a good sign. And the last one was distress sales. Whenever they'll talk about, I'm going to wait until I can find a foreclosure.
Good luck.
They made up less than 1% of all the sales nationwide for January, which is actually the same as what it was in December and January of last year. We're not seeing a big influx of foreclosures into the market. That may or may not change this coming year into the next. There are a lot of lenders, statewide programs putting in some foreclosure and forbearance programs, but we're going to see how those roll out because, again, it's like the stock market. Everything is purely speculation right now.
Right.
Well, and as much as we all want a good deal, it's good for the market when people are not losing their homes. So I do think, like we talked about before, we'll see a little bit of a change in things and an increase in inventory, but foreclosures are still hard to come by. And let me just give you a little PSA right now. When you see on some websites that I won't name that something is in foreclosure or in pre-foreclosure, that means that maybe they've missed one payment. So don't necessarily think that if your neighbor's house shows up as a pre-foreclosure that it's going down, because that is not usually the case.
Right. And even people that have missed multiple payments, they still have the option, as long as they catch it back up or make arrangements before the auction date. The majority of them never go to the auction.
And let me give ourselves a little shameless plug there. Cindi and I not only survived the downturn in real estate, but I would dare to say that we were able to thrive during that, but we got very versed in short sales and intervention and things like that. So if you're in trouble, call us. If you're having mortgage issues, if you're having credit issues, call us. Don't wait until it's so late.
In today's market, there is no reason anybody should lose their homes. You should be able to sell it and at least get out of it what you owe, so that you can repair your credit. I mean, it's not going to happen immediately, but if you do have a foreclosure, it's going to be quite a while before you can buy a home again, whereas if what you have is late payments, you can buy again much quicker.
And we can help you navigate that. So it's just like people that don't want to go talk to a lender because they're afraid to hear. We see it all. It's never as bad as you think it is, and we're here to help. So even if it's not a great situation, if you find yourself having difficulty, like Jack said, there's lots of programs and availability out there, but call us and we're happy to help walk you through that. So I know we talk a lot about first-time home buyers, but let's talk about first-time home sellers. Okay?
Right.
You bought a house for whatever reason, life changed. It always cracks me up when people buy their first home. They're going to stay there forever. Cindi and I laugh. I would say historically that is never the case.
No, but very good news is first-time home buyers, you're going to make money.
Absolutely. And I've never seen a market where I have people that I'm selling their house a year after they bought it, and they're walking away with enough money to cover capital gains taxes and still have some money in their pocket. That just does not happen.
To put a substantial down payment on the next home, yes.
Yeah, that does not happen. So,
So when first-time home sellers, when you call, the first thing we're going to do is come out and take a look at your home, and we're going to discuss pricing. Like we said before, we're going to give you different options, and we're going to talk about what you need to do in order to fall into one of those categories,
and let you
how much
decide.
you need to do.
Yeah,
right.
And I always am very quick to point out to my sellers, I don't price your home. We don't price your home.
we
I
are
hate
there to
hear
educate.
that. We're going to give you all of the information. We're going to give you neighborhood and area statistics, pricing recommendations. But at the end of the day, we work for you. So it's up to you to decide what you want to do, what you don't want to do, what that looks like, and where you want to be price-wise.
Right.
So let us come look. Before you spend money, before you jump through a lot of hoops, I would say realtor, lender are the first 2 phone calls you need to make.
Yes.
So call us. We can help walk you through it. But then we're also going to have you contact your lender to get things lined up on the other end so that we can be on the hunt. One of our buyer's agents can work with you on finding something so that when yours does sell, you're ready.
Right. So that first visit, we're going to come out and we're going to talk about pricing. We're going to talk about condition and what all you need to do before you get ready to sell. So know that you doesn't have to be perfect for, us or your realtor to come out and take
Not
a
at
look.
all.
That is just more of a education at that point. So even if you are ready, it's probably going to be a couple of days before you get photos.
And it's not a bad thing for us to see the way you live. Okay, people live in their homes, and that's totally okay. But we can help you come up with some strategies for showings and being prepared. One of the things when I sold my first home, when I was a first-time home seller, I had small children at home. And one of the things we did is pack everything up except one Rubbermaid tote each. And both of my kids were allowed to have one box of their things. And at night before we went to bed, they put all their things in that one box, and we hid it in the closet. So it was ready for a showing. So we can kind of help walk you through getting ready with pets, getting ready with kids, what those showings need to look like. So don't feel like you have to professionally clean and paint every wall before we come and see it. Sometimes it's helpful if you don't.
Yeah. And there's things that you can do now that are easy, that help, like putting fresh mulch down in your bed. Or I know every time I pull into my garage now, I look and see I need to pull some weeds in my flower bed. That's something I think is going to happen with everybody over the winter is we don't get out there flipping our mulch and doing what we need to do.
Yeah, so those outside, now's a good time to go ahead and line up your lawn guy for next month whenever the weather starts to change a little bit, kind of get those things in order. If you have a swimming pool, if you have things that are geared more towards summer, you want to look at opening those things and getting them ready maybe a few weeks earlier than you would.
That's a good point right there is if you are going on the market and you have a pool or you have systems that you typically close down during the cold months, you are going to have to get those up and running.
It shows better, historically brings more money, whether that's a
and they
water
have to
feature
be,
in your yard, but they have to be able to inspect those items as well.
Correct. Nobody wants to buy a pool that they can't inspect.
Absolutely. So go ahead and plan on opening those things and getting ready. Just the same way that when you're a buyer, you feel like you bought this house and so you know what you're doing. You're completely clueless whenever you're a seller. But, it's important to understand the timelines. Again, that's why you need to hire a professional. I had somebody the other day who had put their house on the market as a for sale by owner, and they left it up for 6 hours because they got such an overwhelming, it was overwhelming to them. And they called and they're like, we don't want to do this. We do not want to do this. So it's what we do every day. It's our job to help walk you through that process. But you need to know about, like Cindi talked in the previous segment, you're going to have a home inspection. You're going to have an appraisal, probably, more than likely. And there are some lender required repairs that need to happen. So let us go ahead, lawn guy, any systems, pool guy, anything that you have that you need to be aware of. Let's pressure wash, get your gutters cleaned, the things that you need to be thinking ahead in order to get ready to give you as much return on your investment as possible.
All right, well, that's great information. We're going to step away and take our last break for the morning. When we come back, we're going to finish talking about the first-time home sellers and the things you need to get ready to do to possibly entertain some of those multiple offers that will be coming your way. This is Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody on Talk Radio 102.3.
Chattanooga listens to us.
I do. I do too.
Check in several times a day for the latest.
I listen in my car. I listen at work.
Don't miss a minute.
Talk Radio 102.3. WGOW FM.
Secure your valuables this year with a Liberty safe from Randy's Pawn Shop. They have the best selection of Liberty gun safes. Liberty gun safes are the #1 selling safes, and they're made in the USA. Support small businesses where the best deals can be made. Service after the sale happens, plus 12 months same as cash. Shop local, buy from Randy, the safe guy, and a Liberty gun safe specialist at Randy's Pawn Shop in Trenton, Georgia. A half mile off I-59 on the left. We deliver what we sell.
So the dream was to build your very own law practice. Be your own boss, call all the shots. But have things like billing, HR, timekeeping, and all the other management stuff turned your dream into a nightmare? Take charge of your practice with Lexicon. We're the intersection of practice management software and legal support services for your firm. You'll get more billable and livable hours back. Lexicon marks the spot for all your practice management needs. Visit lexiconservices.com/intersection to get the whole story or schedule a demo.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
What's done more to improve overall health and wellness, modern medicine or personal hygiene? Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went mainstream in the 1800s and brushing your teeth in the 1900s, isn't it time for something new, like cleaning your nose? After all, your nose is the body's air filter for trapping dirt and germs, the first line of defense against allergens, bacteria, and viruses from getting into your lungs. But how do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage isn't medicine, it's more like plumbing. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril to the very back of the nose where germs can get trapped and multiply, and then out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and microbes so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier. Join over 2 million others and find out for yourself how refreshing and easy to use Navage is. At Navage.com, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Get Upside gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, up to 25 cents a gallon cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code TIME for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or any gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code TIME for up to 50 cents a gallon cash back on your first tank. That's code TIME.
Tennessee American Water customers can use their online account to get things done anytime that's convenient for you. Customers can report a water service outage or other water emergency using your My Water account. Sign up for emergency alerts so we can keep you informed about impacts to your water system. My Water lets you view your water usage over time. Changed your phone number? Be sure to update your contact information on My Water. Tennessee American Water. We keep life flowing.
Talk Radio 102.3 FM, The Talk Monster.
Welcome back to Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody on Talk Radio 102.3. If you missed part of this morning's show, watch the replay on the Richardson Group KW Facebook page and also our YouTube channel. If you have a real estate question that you need answered while we're not on the air, call our office at 790-7979. So as we stepped away, we were kind of getting into what it takes to get your home ready to sell if you're a first-time home seller. Now that we've got your house listed, what are some of the things a first-time home seller can expect?
It's one of those where there's a little bit of fake news going on. you're going to get, depending on your price range, there's a very high likelihood that you may, if you do what you're supposed to do and we do what we're supposed to do, there's a high likelihood that you'll end up with multiple offers. Now, we hear 12 offers, 15
I think you
offers.
have to look at, too, how many showings did you have? So if within a short period of time you had 30, 40 showings and that only produced
generated,
one or two offers, then you've got to kind of look at that, too.
And one of the things that we're really purposeful about is we're going to give you all of the information for every offer. So let's say you got 3 offers. Bottom dollars, not always, we've talked about that before, not always the biggest driving factor. Are they allowing you some occupancy? Are they waiving an appraisal? Are they using a local lender? There's lots of ways. Just like we don't price your house, we don't pick your offer. But we're going to give you all the information and let you make an educated decision.
So if you do end up with multiple offers, then you're going to sit down with summaries of each of the offers so that we can evaluate them and see. Because, again, more times than not, the top offers are going to be very, very similar. And then it gets down to convenience. What type of financing are they doing? Who is their lender? Because there are lenders that are easier to work with than others.
And underwriters that we know and we're familiar with the process. But like Cindy said also, it's really easy to get caught up in that whirlwind of, my neighbor sold their house for X amount of dollars and they had 20 offers. And just know that what you hear is not always accurate.
Kind of like fishing.
And a client that gets bigger every time. I literally had a client say, and Cindy and I have repeated it 100 times, what is it? Pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered. Okay, so if you had 30 showings in the first week you were on the market and it generated 2 offers, don't pass up something that checks your boxes.
And especially because buyers are not getting together, huddling, and deciding what to offer. So if out of those 2 offers they're very,
similar.
very similar, then that right there is telling you what your home is going to bring in today's market.
Says, yes. And your most likely high, quick buyer is going to be within the first 2 weeks. Those pent-up buyers that are looking for what you have and they've not been able to find it.
The longer you are on the market, the more you are going to negotiate.
And you're waiting for somebody new, essentially, to come on the market.
In today's market, if you've been on the market for 14 days, people are wondering why you're still on the market. If you are on the market for 30 days, people are wondering what's wrong with your home.
And I'm sorry, I've said it and I'll say it again. Price and condition are the 2 biggest reasons that homes are not selling in this. Well, they're the only 2 reasons.
Yeah.
So if your house is overpriced or if you have deferred maintenance items that need to be handled, that's going to be it. So important to know that, and we're here to help.
Ladies, it's been a great show with a lot of great information. We want to say a big thank you to everybody that tuned in this morning on the Facebook Live video. I want to thank everybody that watched this morning. As always, we're going to be here next Saturday morning, 9 o'clock. More great information for you guys. We hope you guys have a blessed week. We're going to go get ready for a wedding.
I like it.
Guys, this is Talk Radio 102.3. This is Real Estate Today with Cindi and Jody, and we hope you guys have a great week.